Hey everyone, Tarim here. I just wanted to go ahead and make another video regarding our last video where we talked about new players coming back or returning players coming back to Final Fantasy XIV. I just wanted to give you guys just a quick video regarding what I felt was a very basic guide in regards to what you need to do to be ready for Endwalker. So this is for anybody who's new, anybody who's returning. We're just going to go for basically the bare minimum of what you need to be ready for Endwalker. We may make a secondary video in regards to like other things you can kind of get ready for. And I do have one kind of farther planned out where I want to actually go over like some ways you could take advantage of some things in the system to kind of help you out with some of your early leveling regarding like early access and whatnot. But we'll go from there in regards to that. But the first thing I wanted to talk about is just some basic things. What is it that you must have to be ready to play Endwalker on the day it comes out? Main thing you have to be prepared, both new and returning players, is you must make sure that your MSQ is finished. MSQ for new players, that is your main scenario quest, basically your story. Basically what kind of takes you through the entire beginning of the game all the way to where we're at here in Shadowbringers. Basically everything that kind of tells you what the story is about, where the locations are, what's going on, things, events in the world, etc. It's basically kind of like, you know, moving in from one story to the next until you kind of get to where we're at in the current expansion. If you played other MMOs, you already know what I'm talking about. But this should be your primary focus to get yourself ready for Endwalker, because without having this completed, you cannot do Endwalker material, and it'd be terrible if everybody else is in Endwalker experiencing the new story, and here you are still stuck in, let's say, Shadowbringers, not being able to play with everybody else, having to play catch up. That'd be pretty rough. So make sure you prioritize everything on that. Speaking of new players, don't rush. Right now, we got what, like 6 months from now to when the expansion is coming out. You have plenty of time to be able to get into the MSQ, get into the story, and enjoy the story without having to feel rushed. Now, when you're leveling through as a new player, starting from level 1, I would highly recommend sticking with pick one job that you like and stick with that the entire way, and if you may not enjoy it as much. The reason why I say that is because you can always go back and level jobs later. I'll talk about that in a few moments, but for now, just pick one job, stick with it. I have a friend of mine who's leveling, just started about, let's say, like 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he's already in the Post A Realm Reborn, which is the base game, Post A Realm Reborn story right now. The only thing he told me after we kind of had some conversations is he had some hiccups regarding leveling around 47, 48. Mainly though, he just had to do a couple dungeons, pick up a couple side quests, and then once he got to 50, he was fine. You get so much boosted XP from doing just the main scenario quest on its own. So I would say solely focus on that. Maybe pick up a quest or two here or there. You may have to run a couple dungeons toward the very end of the tail end of that first 50 levels. And then after that, the post stuff, you'll be able to get XP over whenever you go into Heavensward. You'll be completely fine from there. You'll have no issues. And then from what I've also heard, there isn't really any issues with like gearing, to be out of context, so I won't go into further detail. Basically focus on the MSQ, maybe pick up a couple things along your way for the first 50 levels, and I will preface that the first 50 levels are the hardest, so don't feel like the game does get better, and don't feel overwhelmed or anything about, oh, this is really bad. Again, that's, talk to any 14 player, that is the worst part of the game, and then Heavensward starts picking up things really fast. For returning players, you already kind of know the gist about the MSQ. You probably just need to pick up a couple things and finish where you're at, so I'm not really going to delve into what you guys got to do. You already know, so we'll go ahead and go from there. So the next thing I want to talk about is unlocks. So everything in 14 has to be unlocked. Majority of the stuff that you will need to unlock is through the MSQ, but there are some things that are not unlocked through the MSQ. For example, there are some dungeons that are not unlocked, some raids, the raids, just in general, the 24-man raids, beast tribes, there's a plethora of them. But pretty much anything that has an icon, that has a quest icon that is blue with a little plus symbol, that is what we are looking for. Every single one of those will unlock something. So I'd recommend, like, if you see them while you're leveling, maybe pick up those and just kind of do them. But I wouldn't really stress too much about them. Get to max level first, get to 80, get your MSQ done, and then go back and do the unlocks so that you can just kind of breeze through that content. So now, the reason why I say to do that now is that is going to be your way of like leveling other jobs, as well as it's going to be your way of unlocking the duty roulette. the duty roulette is something that once you have everything unlocked, you could be able to queue into random events, and those queue in random events allows you to be able to gain XP that you can then use for other jobs. So you might want to take advantage of that when you're leveling your other jobs, or when Endwalker's around, you want to get kind of like a boost of experience to kind of go in without having to, like, hopefully not have to ruin any XP issues there. You can just kind of go and do one maybe while you're leveling or doing the story in that regard. So, take advantage of that. Also, before I forget, you do at around level 15, there is a quest in Limsa Mensa where you can unlock your challenge lock. I highly recommend doing that, whenever you are able to, as the challenge log is something that really easily helps you get easy XP just by basically playing the game. And it may help you through some like little lull zones or other jobs, like I mentioned already. So make sure you pick that up. It also will be something that we'll be using to get ready for Endwalker, if you're going to do like an Endwalker prep to get things ready for XP boost as soon as the servers go live for Endwalker. Again, we'll talk about that as we get a little bit closer to Endwalker. I don't want to say that now because it's a little bit too early for that. Alright, so now we've done unlocks, kind of what I've been talking about the next thing. The next thing is kind of level other jobs. So remember when I said pick one job and stick with it? That is basically get you through MSQ. After that, you are free to do whatever you want to level other jobs. Let's say you didn't really pick the Paladin, you really didn't like the Paladin. Maybe you want to go try a Warrior, go try a Warrior. Or maybe you want to try something completely different. You want to go play a Caster. This is your time to kind of experiment, like, okay, everything has a different playstyle. How do I want to play this game? So, use that time, use the time after you finish the MSQ to figure out what jobs you like. If you do pre-order Endwalker, any class that you get that's below 80 that you'd like to level up, you can use the earring that you get with the pre-order, and that'll boost your XP gain up to level 80. And it even will work from 80 to 81, but again, that video will come later. Also, if you're looking to play Reaper or Sage in the new expansion, you maybe want to try a Scholar for shield healing, since that's what the Sage is going to be, as a barrier shield healer. And Reaper is going to be a melee DPS, so maybe you want to try Dragoon because they'll share the same gear. Or maybe just try any melee DPS just to see if melee DPS is something you're interested in. So those are some things that I would tidbit on that, kind of test out. The good thing is all the jobs can be played on one character. You don't have to make another character and re-go through the entire leveling again. You just literally just swap over and you're good to go. So that's one of the good joys about this game. And the last thing I have for just like basic thing is complete your Relic Weapon. So Shadowbringers has a Relic Weapon that you can start off at a certain eye level and then progress it up to basically where it's the best in slot weapon in the game as of this current moment. Not only will that help you in Endwalker be kind of a good weapon to use for the first 4 or 5 levels, you get the glamour from it, and the glamour is actually pretty cool. Some are good, some are not so good. That's up to a matter of opinion. I won't delve into that here. But the main thing is that it is going to be something that one you can work towards, because right now people are doing it. Since no one really is playing anything else in the game, it's a little lull zone for everybody else, but there's a lot of people that are going through and playing the relic stuff to get those BIS weapons. So now would be the time to do that if you have any interest in doing it. Also, the zones that the relic weapons are a part of, they actually help you level other jobs, so you can kind of use that as well to level your other jobs. And you can even test them at level 80 to see how they play at the max level currently before they get changed in Endwalker. But you can at least see what the rotation will be like. That's probably a really good thing I should have mentioned in the other job thing, so make sure you take that as a note. And also, you can, in those zones, you can get merits that allow you to do increased damage or healing or health. Those will actually help you level your other jobs, or Sage and Reaper, if you plan on doing it. That might be a good place to level. Will probably be a good place to level if you don't have a static group to level through. So those are just kind of a couple things that I wanted to talk about that new players should be really focusing on. Mainly is just the MSQ, guys. Just focus on that MSQ. Everything else can really kind of wait, and you can kind of go back even when Endwalker comes. But the main thing is getting that done so that you can then be ready to go to jump into Endwalker material whenever that does come out. So I hope you found this video informative. Like I said, we may do a couple other videos about the other 2 things I mentioned previously. But I wanted to make sure that the new players who are coming in now know what to really expect and what to look for. So if you did find this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with anybody that you may know. Also consider subscribing. That does help me. You can also follow me on Twitch. I'll put a link in the description below. I do stream every Tuesday through Thursday right now, as my group's current thing to try to get through before Endwalker is Ultimate. You can come over there and hang out and see what that looks like if you have any interest in that. But with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and head off for now. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. See ya!